Where is the monkey music? I need my monkey music. Where is it? Where is my monkey music? Hold on a moment. Shut up, phone. Silence, you black mirror piece of shit. Right. Here we go. Yosh. First question mark? Right. It's time to go. It is a time to go. Paintingu. 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 Right. Let's get the chief rowing. Painting goo 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 goo. Painting goo 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 goo. Painting goo 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 goo. Painting goo goo goo. Painting goo goo goo. It's painting fucking goo. It's painting goo. Painting goo. It's painting goo. What will we goo? Nobody knew. What do we goo? Painting goo. Paint rant goo. Do you mind making me coffee? Goo 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 goo. Painting goo goo goo. Painting goo 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 goo. Half and half. No? I would have said. You said what way? I said half and half. I didn't say anything about sugar. Painting goo. My face is reeking. And it's not sweat. Painting goo, goo goo goo. I allowed you to be first. Painting goo. Painting goo. Alright, you marvelous magical monkey. Let's bring it home. Remind these filthy mortals of the meaning of beauty and honor. Painting goo. Goo, goo, goo. Painting goo. Painting goo 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 goo. Painting goo goo goo. It's painting fucking goo. Let's painting goo. Painting goo. Painting goo. Painting goo. Goo 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 goo. Painting goo. Goo goo goo. Goo 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 goo. Painting goo. Goo 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 goo. That's it, Myro. Show the filthy mortals the meaning of beauty and honor, and the consequences of trying to strangle me in my sleep. You petrified primate. Everybody put your hands together for Myro the monkey. our resident petrified primate. He may be stiff, but his fingers are loose and mobile to a magical degree. Right, you know the drill, you filthy mortal scum. Pay the monkey, so he doesn't go hungry. Click the link in the description and pay the monkey. Greetings, my beloved Japonaita, and welcome to another glorious episode of PEINTEINGU. With me, your illustrious, demi-divine host, Defender-sama, demigod of PEINTEINGU. My face is a reeking. Perfect timing, of course, for a zit to burst all over your face is right before you go live on the internet. I do believe I was correct. I believe whatever they do to the apples that we eat in this country, whatever kind of protective layer or irradiation that they expose those delicious apples to, has fucked with my fresh on my face. I was wondering why I was experiencing what appeared to be some sort of bacterial acne. And it would appear, since I have stopped eating the apples, my face has started to heal. So I think I was right. I think I called that one. I think I bet on the right horse in that race, which is always nice when you're experimenting with something to do with your health. And it turns out that you're right. You shouldn't be eating that shit anymore because it's fucking your face. I used to think that my various skin-orientated allergic reactions, please excuse me whilst I descend into proper PEINTEINGU posture. A bit of stiffness in the stool. Must be the warmth. The pore is sweating. Perhaps the rube is... Well, if anything, that would make it smoother, but I don't know. The heat is probably making some things expand in the stool. Hence the slight stiffness. But fairly smooth nonetheless. It's all good. But anyway, as I was saying, it is very empowering and satisfying, and it bolsters your sense of discernment when you experiment with your health in various ways. And my experience over the years with various hives on the back of my neck and acne in various areas, and then what else? Mucus in my eye holes in the morning. My sinuses being blocked. Stuff like that. Minor, very minor shit. But very noticeable. And very quick to show up and recede. I do see it now as a blessing. That I can interact with various things in my environment, whether I'm eating them or not. And my body has a very noticeable and rapid reaction. I am like canary in coal mine when it comes to certain things. Perhaps I would be good at noticing radiation or some shit. I have no idea. I'm allergic to fucking everything, even the sun. I got burnt again, but you probably won't be able to tell. I am not pasty white right now. I'm more like, normal fresh color. I will have many freckles very soon. But yes, progress on the community planters is very good. People are very happy. I am getting passers-by, old and young, complimenting me on how they are turning out. Obviously, it's not just me. I do not want to take complete and utter credit for such a thing. Most of the work has, especially at this stage, has been done by myself and the maid Marion, a very friendly lady in the Creative Praise group, whatever you would like to call it. It began with all of us just priming everything, and then moved on to some of us doing colors with rollers and stuff to get a base. Since those things have been done, it was all me chalking up and painting the 5 that have my designs on them. But Marion has also been doing 2 at the end, and herself and Snowy. I believe her name is Anna. Another very friendly girl, not woman. I have no idea how old she is. 20s-ish, perhaps. She is Asian, though, so for all I know, she could be 112. Right. Today, we begin a new gu. So you know what that means. Soon, I will request that you put a number in the chat. Soon! Not yet, not now. Don't do it now. For the love of the gods. All of them. Every single one. Don't do it now. Do it in a moment. Right. Pruna-sama, Desmondu-sama, Emmanuel Godsunu. Welcome to PEINTEINGU. Emmanuel Godson is flexing his delusional power in the chat. I allowed you to be first. Sumimasen. The female is on the way with coffee, so that is the first of many gepus. Oh, God. I never know how dehydrated I am until I start drinking water. And then it's like my body is like, drink it all now! You are this close to dying, you idiot. Right. The poor female will be banished for giving Defender sugar in his coffee. Incorrect, sir. Incorrect. I am very adaptable with my coffee. I do actually like sugar in my coffee, but like my experiment with the apples that have pretty sure are the culprit in the fucking of my face the past few weeks. I haven't had this much acne on my face since I was a wee lad. And it is not only unsightly, but painful. Some of them are on particular nerve endings and such. But anyway. Yes, sometimes of late I have been like, no sugar. I am attempting to be a good demigod. Attempting does not mean I'm succeeding. But if I have learned anything from being banished from Chinese heaven and relegated here. For those of you wondering why I've only been banished from Chinese heaven and not the other heavens, is because the Monkey King is not allowed in any of the other heavens. For good reason. Valhalla hates him. The last time the Monkey King went to Valhalla, Odin tried to string him up and cut him in half. He was going to use him for an axe throwing competition. Christians find him amusing, but tiresome. The Vikings fucking hate him. And that's coming from me. Right. I'll take my coffee black with a shot of whiskey, please. If I had whiskey. Probably. You need to get some WD for that stool. I'll just rub Vaseline all over it like I did microphone. Admit it, Micah. You rubbed it, didn't you? You sick fuck. He just sat there staring at me. Not blinking. At all. With his mouth agape. As I rathered Vaseline all over his base. It was traumatizing, but necessary. He's a squeaky fuck, aren't you, Micah? Indeed. I learned some crazy gravy about apple varieties during the week. The varieties grown by farmers today are inferior. Amazing. I can only imagine how shit everything has become. I have switched to bananas for the moment. But I was really liking my apples. They are delicious. They are delicious. Perhaps I will begin growing my own. How many years do apple trees take? Like fucking 4, 7? That shit takes years. It's ridiculous. Strawberries, blackcurrants. I'm going to begin with berries and vegetables. And then I will try my hand at the various citrates. All in due time. Now we go. We do not grew. Helheim wouldn't even accept Monkey Kingu. Surtur was instantly annoyed at his presence. Indeed, most of the... What are they called again? Aesir? Most of the Aesir couldn't stand him. It was hilarious to witness many... Just axes, hammers, spears, all over the place. Flying all over the place. Of course, most of them missed because he is the Monkey King. He's renowned for his... agility, his combat prowess is staggering. There is no denying that, which only makes him more annoying to the Vikings, which I found quite amusing. Of course, the Chinese gods know how to handle him. They just shame him. They just point at him and laugh. That's it. Stops everything. Stops him right in his hairy, filthy, shit-covered fucking monkey... fucking Monkey King! Right. Today, we are embarking on a new goo. The secret is in the seed of the apple tree. I have a plan to begin my own race of superior fruit trees. I will let you have one. Maybe. Ah, that would be glorious. That would be glorious. But yes, I will also next year, I believe, I will try and start. I know it's a bit late, but better late than never. Better late than never. I am going to attempt to keep up my gardening skills, because we do have a beautiful garden. It has incredible potential. Just the shape of it. The shape of it alone is very... the feng shui is throwing in my garden. See you fucking Black Mirror fuck. Forgot to mute you. Right, today is a new painting day. Did he just say painting gay? It rhymes with day. I don't give a fuck. I'm too tired right now to give a fuck. I've just spent hours in the sun painting with my ass on concrete. I don't give a fuck right now. It's all in the genes. Tell me about it. Giggity. Right. Let me see. Okay, have we got everything? Apart from my coffee, we have everything. Okay. Right. Here we go. Painting gay. Is it not painting goo? Is it painting gay? My nemesis or something like. Instead of aku aku, it's uka uka. It's like instead of painting goo, it's painting gay. Some faggot is gonna try and mimic me. And he'll like blow up immediately and have like 6 million followers, like, you know. So typical. Right. When I say and not a moment before, Place a number between 0 and 224 in the chat. When I say, you eager, impulsive, impatient, filthy mortal scum. When I say it, not a moment before. Didn't know you were gooing today. Great job on the pots. I goo when I must goo. Did I not say fucking? No, I didn't. I didn't put a thing in the Telegram, did I? Fucking retard. I forgot. I did schedule it though. So if you'd bothered your ass to go to YouTube and check, you would have seen. You would have seen the schedule. The schedule says everything. But yeah, I didn't put a thing in the Telegram. Fark. 6 million sounds a little high. It always does, doesn't it? No matter how many times they repeat it. 12:53-ish. 12:53-ish. Right. Have a number at the ready. A number between 0 and 224. Wait for it. Wait for it. It's almost time for PEINTEINGU! Ha! Do it now! Put a number in the chat! Do it, you filthy mortal scum! PEINTEINGU. 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 It's PEINTEINGU. Where will we go? Nobody knew. It's PEINTEINGU. It's fucking goo. 69 from Desmondo Sama. I think 69 is already done. The Federal States of Micronesia. We have already been there. Let's try and go someplace I know we haven't been on the previous Mapu. We only did the Federal States of Micronesia a while ago. It has not been a very long timer since we were in the Federal States of Micronesia. I will cross that off. That was not that long ago. Next number, 79 from Emmanuel Godsonu. Ghana. I'm pretty sure we've been to Ghana, but not recently. No. Ghana sounds kind of recent. Does Ghana sound recent to the rest of you? If Ghana sounds recent to the rest of you, we're not doing it. And I'll do 77. Or will I? Fucking Georgia sounds fucking fairly recent as well. Doesn't really matter. I remember Ghana. Right, okay, yeah. So I'm right. Right. We've already been to Ghana. Next muffin. 77. Georgia. Georgia doesn't sound recent. I know we've been to Georgia, but it doesn't sound recent. Actually, we might not have been to Georgia before. We're going to Georgia. We set sail for Georgia. Right. $77. I have it. I have the eyes of an eagle. 77. What do they say in Georgia? Bozis Shvilo. Bozis Shvilo? How the fuck are you supposed to... S-H-V-I-L-O. Shvilo. 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 Bozis Shvilo. Son of a whore. It means son of a whore. Fuck me, it's hot in here. It is fucking hot in here. I might open the window. Oh my god. What temperature is it right now? 26 degrees Celsius. Fuck. Oh, it's warm. Right. We're off to Georgia. Ugh. Right. We know where we're going. Now we must discover what we are going. What wasn't Ghana the birthplace of Xenoboon? It might be. I can't remember. That'd be so funny if it was. My number, Winu. Is there a price? a price? Is there a price for winning? You will be frogged. That is the price for winning the number goo. You will be frogged vigorously with a cat of 9 tails. Is there a price? If your number gets picked, we should do something. If your number gets picked, I don't have the money to do something like that though. If you're in Ireland, maybe. If I had the money, like I could do a thing of like if your number gets picked, then like you get the painting for like, I don't know. I don't think I'd be able to do it for free. You know, I could be like if your number is the one that like gets picked and then we do the painting, it's like you could, I don't know, you get the painting goo for 50 quid or something. Everybody else has to pay this like 200 or something. I don't know. I don't fucking know. We'll figure that out later. Right now I have to consult the magic hat to find out what we are going. Now that we know where we are going. Right. I must shuffle the magic hat too. Yeah, it's roasting outside. Yeah, it's fucking mad warm, man. Like, I'm sweating so... And I have sunburn, like... So, like, it's even fucking warmer, like... Right. How will it sound if I open the window? You guys let me know, like... It probably won't even register that much, but, like, you'll probably just hear cars passing now or something, like... A cat of 9 tails has 18 wives, each one destined to deliver frogging goo with ferocity. Indeed, it is a vicious implement. I love it. Yeah, ah, yes, the Eastern Brock. Indeed. We're off to Georgia. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. Scheiße! One moment. Oh, where did you go? I do not know. Ah, there we go. Oh. Right. I can feel my face reeking. Reeking? Does your face smell? My beard probably does. Right. Right. The Hatu has been shuffled. First snatch. Where's the... What way is this shit? Shit, fuck. Fuck shit. There we go. Sound is grand because of the music. Awesome. I have heard a leprechaun shout, "Help! They're after me, Lucky Charms!" Couldn't resist. Right, first, snatch you. Let me see. I must cultivate my chi. Oh. Oh, yeah. Snatch! Right. Some collateral damage, but the first snatch was a good snatch. That was a good snatch. A fine snatch. Nothing better than a fine snatch. First thing we are doing in Georgia. A vault. A vault. Containing what? Nobody knows. Who knows what's in the vault? We will simply be painting a vault. Right. Second, not you. Snatch! Oh! I felt that one on the tip of my finger. I missed by a hair's breadth. Oh. Snatch! Oh! Fuck! Right. That was so close. Oh. Snatch! Fuck! 3 in a row! I am tired. Fuck. Did I only have one snatch left? Shit. I must cultivate more chi. Snatch! I got it. I got it. I got it, dropped it, and then got it again. That counts. I didn't exactly snatch that one like an eagle, but the next thing we are doing in Georgia is an eagle! One of our most prized feathery friends. Tobias's cousin. Right, final snatch. Why you all crap for PEINTEINGU? Crap for PEINTEINGU! Your ancestors will hate you. I'm still gathering, I'm cultivating chi. Crap for PEINTEINGU, while I cultivate chi. Snatch! Ah, yes. Glorious. Right. Third and final item that we are doing in Georgia is a thread. I want to do an eagle on a thread. That would be hilarious. A bobsledding eagle. That's fucking hilarious. Just an eagle in a bobsled with helmet on. Hilarious. Right. Oh, wrong one. What day? It's funky. It's Funky Fridays. It's Funky Friday. And that was not funky. Let me see. Where are we? Where's the thingy? There we go. There we go. My face is still reeking. It's not blood, it's plasma. Right. It's like I cut myself shaving you. You may be badly burned and sweating you profusely, but your chi output is making the Monkey King jealous. Yes. I got word. One of Tobias's cousins brought me a scroll the other day. And apparently the Monkey King has been pacing in his big cave that he regularly meditates in. Instead of meditating, he's pacing. That's a good sign. Eventually, he will be so stressed and so overcome with hatred for me that he will fuck up big time. And then, and only then, at the perfect moment, will I strike her. Don't worry, you were wounded fighting the Monkey King. Keep that to yourself. Why do you think he's pacing? He may have won the battle, but things are different now. The rules have changed. It's a lot harder to beat your opponent when the game is based on non-magical properties. Let's just say I've been practicing my Muay Thai and Jiu-Jitsu. One of these days I'm going to strangle that hairy fuck so hard his tiny monkey head just pops right off. Right, funk. Yes. Painting goo goo goo. Glorious painting goo goo goo. Right, let's get some goo on this parrot. We're setting sail for Georgia. Painting goo goo goo. We have our agua, we have our goo. It's time to get these bitches wet. As per usual, we will begin with the frat bitch. Probably. I must consult the Oracle Google for an image of Georgia. Oh, great Oracle Google, show me Georgia. Wow, that is beautiful. Right, let me see. We need to do a shred, an eagle, and a vort. Give me. Have we got any mountains? That's a nice image. It's a nice bridge. Ah, perfect. Perfect. A mountain range deep in the mountains. Trinity Church. Hilarious. Almost looks like the location from that Warhammer 40k story. The Rast Church. Right. We're off to the mountains in Georgia. So there will be a blue sky, but not much. The rest of it's going to be mountains. Right. Let's get some mid-tone brew going. Oh. My apologies, I must shake the goo. I must shake the goo. PEINTEINGU. Pa PEINTEINGU. Goo 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 PEINTEINGU. PEINTEINGU goo 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 goo. Pa PEINTEINGU. Goo 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 goo. Oh, I miss my top knot. My hair keeps assorting my face. Alright, the goo has been shocked. Glorious. Right. We are now ready to go. Just as I am ready to go, the coffee arrives. Glorious. Domo arigato, my beautiful female. Delicious. Domo. That means thank you, by the way. What? Go have Mahagrath McGraw. Ma Colleen Alleen. But like Colleen is a girl, so like what's fucking band sounds old. Band sounds old. Mana. Mana's a Mana Alleen. Alleen took. Allen. Knock will she go hauling. Connie, yeah. McGraw Allen. My beautiful love. Like, what's female in Gaeilge? I haven't a clue. Is it just Mana? Yeah, so it's just band, probably. Female, just band. Yeah. So there's nothing that's like female. It'd just be bun. Bun. That's very Asian. Like, I'll just ring the guy. Just be like, bun. Like, it rolls off the tongue well better. Oh. There's a play. What? Slán. Goramahagut McGraw. Right. Where was I? McCree. Eyes roll. Fucking McCree, like. Thanks, John. Iron Man Beru. Welcome. We're off to Georgia. Painting goo 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 goo. Painting goo 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 goo. Not much sky in this one. This bitch is gonna be all mountains. Which is good, because we need an eagle in a shred and a vault. Excellent. I will put vault in one of the churches. Defenderoo went down to Georgia looking for some PEINTEINGU. And possibly steering a soul because Gingeroo. There is always the outrying circumstances of the fact that not only am I a demigod of PEINTEINGU, formerly god of PEINTEINGU, but I am also Gingeroo. So take from that what you will. Some believe I am the son of the devil. One of many. PEINTEINGU. Goo, goo, goo. Right, now for mountains. Let me see. Pale brown. Very pale brown. I must make a browner! Oh, how dare I? I forgot to put my royal rag on my demi-divine knee. How foolish of me. Those damn soul snatchers! Soul eaters. I do not steer. I care. Everybody complain about Jews, because they are the sin eaters. At least they don't eat your soul. Hmm? I fucking eat your soul, bitch. I'm gonna need more browner. Goo, 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 goo. Sour snatchers in English sounds hilarious. Sour snatchers. I envision thieves of a sour disposition. Sour snatchers. Fuck a ceiling. I'm sick of being a thief. I'm so sick of being a thief. I don't like this life anymore. like a group of thieves that hate being thieves. Like they fucking hate being thieves, but they're thieves, and they're called the Sour Snatchers. I'm fucking sick of this, man. I wish I could just grow my own food. But I'm always out here in the dead of night, stealing a 12-year-old's Christmas presents. Or a fucking DVD collection. or some old man's 50-inch TV. Like... My sorrow will give you heartburn. I am well acquainted with heartburn. Heartburn! I am a demigod! You think some indigestion will lead to my downfall? Foolish mortal. I invented indigestion! Oh, that's good coffee. Painting goo 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 goo. Painting goo goo. Let me see. Yeah, that's pretty much bang on, yeah. Painting, goo, 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 painting, goo, goo, goo. Painting, goo, goo, goo. Excuse me, Micah. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Maybe a bit further on the other side. Like this. That's a bit better. Right. Need to darken up those mountains. Painting, goo, 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 goo. Painting, goo, 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 goo. Goo, goo, goo. Painting, goo, 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 goo. Goo, goo, goo. Painting, goo, goo, goo. Painting, goo, 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 goo. Painting, goo, goo, goo. What rubbery mountains Georgia has! Indeed, I'm acing these ones. So far, anyway. Right. beautiful white mountains. When is Frezu? Ah, now is Frezu. Domo for reminding me. Painting, goo, 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 painting, goo, goo, goo. Pause! Oh, right, take a sip of my caffeine. Glorious. Right! With the help of my feathery friend, Tobias Speakers Cross, I will now announce today's phrase of the day. Today's phrase of the day. As I send cleansing vibrations through the interwebs to cleanse your dirty, filthy chi and arouse to fro freely. Now, phrase of the day. Where is the fucking telegram? Today's phrase of the day. If you ever feel worthless, remember, HR departments exist. This is very true. This is very true. A bright, a plague. Sumimasen. Smells like Danish. I had a glorious Danish today. And a croissant. I had a croissant that was filled with some kind of creamy, viscous, sugary fluid. It was delicious. It had frosting on top. It was a divine croissant. Divine croissant. But yes, this is very true. If you are ever fearing worthless, remember that HR departments exist. A utter corruption of society is HR. Nobody likes HR. Human resources. That's what HR stands for. Is human resources. Which is exactly the beginning and end of how these people see you. A resource. That is it. Such a utilitarian view of human beings is to be expelled from society, in my humble opinion. You filthy mortar scum have disappointed the gods for far too long. Have you any idea how hard it is to be a god if you do not have your daily source of entertainment and catharsis by viewing humanity? We have spent eons constructing humanity, and then we had the benevolence to grant you all free will within the creation that we had created for you. It is glorious, abundant, limitless, full of mystery, and yet you filthy mortal scum have built steel and concrete and grass hives to work and live inside of. You could build a beautiful home out of wood and mud and leaves and rock from the land, but you decide to pour concrete into blocks and use metal to live inside. Living inside metal. That is for sardines. Tuna. But sardines and tuna are dead when they are inside the metal. Exactly! That is exactly my point. Foolish mortar scum. Cities, HR, offices, most corporate institutions, inventions, ways of living. These protocol-driven parasites. How they vex me so. These protocol-driven parasites should be purged. Permanently. This concludes today's phrase of the day. If your chi wasn't flowing freely now, it is. I must reply to the maid Marion. A moment. Tuesday. Hi. That is a good. Gears are turning, wheels are turning, things are happening. My faith is being rewarded. It would appear that quite often doing something for free is the best thing you can do. Sounds counterproductive, but not really. Doing something just because you can is usually a good thing. However, I know that the dark forces would argue that doing something just because you can get quite dark quite quickly. Doing something good because you can is generally a good thing. Words are powerful. Right. Resume tunes. City rhymes with shitty. Coincidence? Absolutely not. You're onto something, Desmondo Samda. You are onto something. Oh, gravy! I have been reminded of potential gravy. Some people in the truther community have questions as to the legitimacy of the theories of volcanoes and what they are and how they work and so on and so forth. I recently saw a video of a rudder, a steel, metal, probably aluminum rudder, propped up against a power line. Obviously, whoever made that potentially fatal mistake instantly let go of it and ref the scene. Because all the video is just this rudder turning to molten metal on the pavement as it is still connected against the power line. Man, ladling gravy in Japu is fucking, like, really hard. Basically, you have the ladder propped up against the power line. And because it's like welding, like, do you know what I mean? You have the two, like, the electricity is now grounded, so there's, like, a current running through the ladder, which is doing what currents do, and, like, a light bulb lighting up. The ladder is, like, heating up at certain points. Now, the point where it's heating up the most is the bottom, where, like, it's, like, touching off the pavement, right? And the ladder is literally just, like, melting at quite a rapid pace. Like, there's literally, like, a volcanic looking... This is why I thought of this. It looks like you would see in a volcano, where it's, like, an active volcano, and it's, like, bubbling and frothing and boiling. But it's, like, yellow, white hot, and orange, and then black, right? All the slag, right? So... I had a thought that what if volcanoes, as we know them, are a result of the flood, where the previous civilizations, or maybe not, maybe it's just a natural phenomenon, but some kind of energy source was flooded during the flood, and as a result, we have volcanoes. I think that's totally possible, because, like, they say the whole, like, you know, like, tectonic plates and, like, shifting and all this fucking shit. I don't necessarily know if I believe in the whole plates thing. Maybe it's a thing when you take into account that they've only drilled, like, so far, and then when they got to a point, it's just like the drills wouldn't go anymore. I don't think we're on plates that shift. I think we're on like a fixed location, and the topography and the visuals of everything and the energetic capacity of this place has shifted greatly in our past. And I genuinely think that volcanoes could actually be a result of some kind of great power source, like a generator or a power plant, or like, you know, some kind of building or like weapon even, or some shit, like, you know, like a nuclear reactor maybe. I don't know, like, don't they use electricity in that process? It's used to make electricity, so like, but if you can reproduce something that looks like, genuinely does look like a volcano, like a volcanic, an active volcano appearance, by just melting metal with electricity, my mind was just like, huh, well, what if there was a power source, and like, you know, because you can weld underwater, you know. All that needs to happen is that needs to be the right combination of metal and then an energy current. And like the metal is in the rock, you know, so like it would make total. It's not that it would make total sense. It is, to my mind, completely plausible that the reason we have volcanoes is because of the last flood we have, and volcanoes are actually at their, like, think about like what's at the root of a volcano. Like if you were to try and get under a volcano and look at the root of it, they say it's like, oh, there's rivers of magma, like, and maybe there is, like, maybe there are like rivers of molten rock just like flowing along, but like, where's the heat coming from, you know? What initiated the heat? Where's the heat what's generating the heat? Friction? Just movement? Like, you know, like, I don't know. Like, maybe, I don't know. But, like, it really, like, in my mind, it makes a lot of sense where, like, there's some kind of metal, electromagnetic, electronic, you know, fuckery going on under the water or under the earth. And when the water and the electricity and the metal all, like, meet in the right context, stuff begins to spark and get white hot and melt. And then when things melt, there's probably like a vortex, like, you know, some kind of like, there's like a void that starts to drag other materials into it that also get, like, you know, turned into like white hot fucking rock or like metal or whatever, you know. In my mind, that makes a lot of sense. Just food for thought. Ugh.
Я боюсь проиграть в битве. Боюсь поражения. Куда лучше умереть в бою, чем стать немощным инвалидом. Я чувствую дуновение ветра. Я ощущаю, как внутри меня поселился страх. Но каждый раз после боя я ищу более сильного врага.
Painting goo goo. Fascinating gravy indeed on the volcano subject. I haven't heard many talk about such theories. Has to be someone. I highly doubt I'm coming up with half of this shit myself. I've probably like... I think my brain is really good at connecting dots and it's creative. But like... I seriously don't think I'm that... I don't think I'm intelligent the way that like somebody like Vox is intelligent, or like Owen, you know. I'm not a like sometimes I'm a thinker. Most of the time I'm it's all feeling, baby. Like I'm a nigger. Like don't ever doubt how much of a nigger I am. But yeah, when I saw that video, it did, like, my head was like, huh. Because the way it looked, you know. And if any, like, you know, if we've learned anything from, like, our experience with the mainstream, with, like, COVID and all that shit over the past couple of years, your intuition is usually, like, guiding you towards the truth, like, you know. So I just really wouldn't be surprised if something along those lines is the truth, where it's like there's like an energy source somewhere and it's conflicting with the salt in the water and all, and creating this huge charge, and like that's what a volcano is like the result of like naturally occurring electrical currents meeting with the ocean and just like and like creating that like that plasma vortex that you see when you're welding metal together. Just this like pool of like molten materium, you know, and it just has a current running through it, like. To me, that makes a hell of a lot more sense than the explanation we get in school. Because in school, it's like, oh, there's just lava underground everywhere. It's like, okay, maybe, but why though? What's generating the heat? You know. And like, from what I remember in school, I think it was actually friction. I think friction was where they went with it, because the plates are like rubbing off each other and stuff, and that's how you get mountains and all this shit. Like. But that still implies, like, movement and stuff, like, you know? Like, sure, if you felt an earthquake and then, like, you looked over where there wasn't a hill or a mountain before, and you saw, like, there was an earthquake and you saw a hill or a mountain that wasn't there 5 minutes ago, you'd be like, okay, that makes sense. But, like, I've never seen that. Like, do you ever see, like in real life, you know, not in movies and shit, do you ever see, like, land go up? I don't think I've ever seen that. I don't think I've ever seen land go up during some kind of event. Land always like falls. Like, if anything, I think the realm that we exist in, okay, that's a bit too broad. I think all the known nations and countries that we know of in the realm, I think they all rest upon massive networks of like tunnels and underground cities and shit. New and old. I think there is an entire different realm under the realm. And like some of it is like ancient and some of it is new. just like as above, so below, you know. So like just like we find ruins on the land and buried on the land, and then ruins in the water, I think under the land there are vast like cities, communities, businesses, like tunnels, caves, huge like openings and stuff. Like I've mentioned that before, where like there's like that cave in Cuba or something that has its own rain clouds because it's so big, you know. Like that's another thing that they like they make, you know. Oh, it's a small world after all. No, it's fucking not. No, it's fucking not. We got raised with the idea that like we've already been everywhere, you know, especially with the whole we landed on the moon thing. Like this realm is like, as far as humans are concerned, as far as your average human is concerned, this realm is basically untouched in so many ways, in my opinion. Reminds me of Ken O'Keefe interview with Jake. Wrong time ago. He is humber Irish niggeroo who names the Jew. Ken O'Keefe. Oh yeah, I think I seen some of that. Yeah. You ever see ball lightning? That to me is wired. Looks like the time portal from T2. I know, man. Like some of the things that like are just here now in existence that like you never see, or they're never spoken about, and they're never in the mainstream, and like it doesn't even like you could just look them up or like, you know, talk to someone about it or some shit. Like Owen says, but like it's like I didn't know that animal existed. It's like, yeah, well here it is. Like it's like the world, like the whole like paradigm that we got raised with, at least in the West anyway. All the people between the ages of 0 and 40 that are alive right now, yeah, about roughly 10 years older. Well, yeah, but even before that, actually, like anybody between 0 and 80 who went through a public school system in the West, and probably for the rest of them as well, like in the East, because then otherwise some of the grander tricks wouldn't work, you know. But like most of us have been told that like this is the world, this is what it looks like, this is how everything works. Now go get a job, because that's, you know, how you become a good member of society, is having a good job and like making, you know, enough money to provide for yourself and maybe a family. And now they've changed even that. It's like, fuck a family, adopt. There's plenty of trafficked children. It's like, fuck it, marry a foreigner, have half-breeds, like, you know what I mean? Like, do it all. It's great. Like, it's like they're literally encouraging you to like dilute and greyify everything. Just make everything grey. Just make everything a grey slop by like mixing it all together, so nobody knows where they're from, or what they're descended from, or who their ancestors are, or like why certain things are the way they are, and all this fucking shit. It's crazy. It's so fucking crazy. But like in terms of the volcano shit, it's like that's a good example of it. It's like and like animals and like there's loads of things you can look at where you're just like, how come nobody ever mentions this, you know? And like it's stuff like that where I'm like, it's so obvious that, you know, they can argue that they're like, well, we had to, you know, there's so much knowledge out there that like, it's like with the Bible, it's like, well, there's so much that we had to like cherry pick stuff and boil it down because we wanted to create a thing that like, you know, it's like in video games where like the first game is amazing and then the second game is like pretty shit because they wanted to make it more accessible, in quotes, you know? It's this, it's like Owen's problem with his stream the last few months, where he's like, I want people to get the gravy, like, you know, I want it to be accessible. It's like making something accessible to everyone is a bad idea. It sounds counterintuitive. when you say it, but like when you think about it for 5 minutes, it makes total sense. Making something accessible to everybody, like everybody, you know, like like we're talking about everybody, you know, like it's like your home shouldn't be your home shouldn't be accessible to everybody. Your country shouldn't be accessible to everybody. Your soul, your mind, you know, all these things shouldn't be accessible to everybody, you know? That's why like jurisdictions exist, you know? Like how funny is it that like we're all like have grown up in and are continuing to grow in a paradigm where we are rediscovering what it is to be truly human, and then trying to like discuss that with other people, and we're like seen as crazy or like vilified for it. Like, do you know what I mean? Like it sometimes, most of the time, people say, from my experience in real life, when I talk to people about certain things, they're like really into it, and they already know. Like, the online world is lying to you, just like people in the real world were lying to you, but it's worse online because it's like framed nicely in a box in front of you. Like, do you know what I mean? So it's like when somebody like Owen looks at the numbers and the lack of enthusiasm and stuff like that, like, do you know what I mean? It makes total sense, especially financially, for him to be like, oh, I need to pull back. Total sense. He's doing the right thing, like, you know. But I totally get his frustration, because he's like, oh, if people knew this shit, like, they would choose good. Like, yes, most people would. That's why it's frustrating, because you know that most people would be like, oh, I could just do this now. But it's those fuckers. It's those fucking snakes in the grass. It's those cunts that like Owen said on one of his recent streams, where he was like, it's like that whole thing of like, oh, you know, you come across like the first gun that's invented, or the first bomb or something, or like some kind of like talisman in a fantasy movie, where you're like, oh, this is incredibly powerful, and this could be used for a lot of evil if it fell into the wrong hands. We were kind of brought up with the belief that like the people who said that were like being greedy and wanted to keep the power for themselves. But there is total logic to that. That it's like you come across something and you're like, oh shit, this is incredibly potent and incredibly powerful. We need to safeguard this, because if the wrong people get a hold of this is going to change everything. You know? It's like the reverse of when somebody makes a fucking car engine that runs on water, and like the Men in Black show up and they're like, no nigga, like, do you want the fucking petrodollar and like the oil industry to like, you know, totally like be shagged overnight? Like, you will, like, that makes sense, because like what they're trying to avoid is like mass chaos. But there's a weird like moral argument, like a very meta moral argument, to be like, well, like, let the chaos happen, you know? Because like, think about it, if you're like, oh no, not chaos, oh no, we can't have any chaos, if we have chaos we won't be in control. Well, is that you being a control freak then? Because if you have chaos and you have time, then with some order, chaos and time and order, you will get more order. Even if you have an incredible amount of chaos, just give it time with some order, and the order will start to order the chaos, you know? Like, I'm seeing that happen already. People are like, oh, Ireland is speed running woke and all. It's like, yeah, fucking right we are. We're experts at this shit. We let whoever wants to come here can come here, and they're welcome till they fuck with us, and then we adapt, you know? And it's like, it's weird. It's like, I think that's one of the most like inherently Irish things. I think that's how you know if you're really Irish, is like if you have that inherent genetic predisposition to be like, oh yeah, I love everybody, and then somebody betrays you and you're like, okay, that's not happening again. And something awakens inside you where you're like, you know, you're more adamant than you've ever been in your entire life to be like, I'm gonna love the people I love even more now, because they really deserve my love, because they're not like the other people who betray me. Whereas the people who betray me, rightly so, will be treated like stray animals. You know, like a foreign dog in a village, where the villagers collectively decide not to feed it so it'll leave, you know? It's like, it's funny how like all of this like corruption has entered our collective psyche and convinced us that like absolute horror is good, you know? And now we're like we're reaffirming what is actually good, true and beautiful by conflicting with this proposed paradigm. You know, these people who are like, oh, you need to be more inclusive and you need to be more diverse, and like, don't you like, you know, don't you think racism is bad, and all these like all of these like, it's a truly insidious, in a sense, genius strategy to like fuck everything demonically. It really is. It's like, you know, hats off to them. Like, it's fucking genius. But once you figure it out, it's like a glass cannon. Once they shoot their shot, it's gone, you know, and everybody cops on. So like, let them do it, you know, like the Paul from Pockets or whatever. Just let it happen. Like, do you know what I mean? Like I can see from watching Owen streams that it's like that's why his streams are so fascinating, because he knows a load of shit that you don't. But then he also, through experiencing, because like he's living a normal life in a lot of ways, because he's trying to be moral. He's not living the same life as like all the other famous people, even though he's still kind of famous. Do you know what I mean? Like, he's not famous. He's clearly still famous, even though he's not Hollywood famous. He's not approved. He's not authorized, you know? Like, Vox is famous in certain circles, you know? So it's like, as he shifted paradigms and he's like learning all of these things while trying to like maintain a community, and he's like coming across all these snakes in the grass and shit, like, and he's being honest about his interaction with like other people while trying to do an endeavor like this. It's fascinating to see him discover shit and be like, oh, alright, I can't do this, this, and this because this will happen, right? And like, a lot of us know the stuff already. Like, we've already learned lessons that he's learning now, but then he's learned a ton of lessons that like we would never have gotten the opportunity to learn, most of us, because he got, you know, like his type of human is like logistically very rare, because like the percentage of people who are like world famous in any regard is very small. You know, the rest of us are all just like minnows, and then there's whales and whatever, like, you know. So that's what makes Owen so dangerous to people who don't like competition and people who want everything to be fucked and want to grift everyone. That's what makes him so dangerous, because he was like, oh shit, this is horrible, well, I'm not doing that, and like turned and wasn't afraid to do it, because everybody's like, no, don't, like the Truman Show of like, you're crazy, you know, don't do that, like just keep going to work and all this fucking shit. Like, it makes total sense, because like, whatever about money is your god, you know. Because like, if you turned around to some of these people and you were like, money is your god, that's why you're making these decisions, it's because money is your god, they'd be like, what? Money isn't my god. Well, like, I don't sacrifice like cows to money, like, that's retarded, like, you know. But they don't understand the angle. Like, it's so funny that like most of us speak English, but like there is quite often a miscommunication to an insane degree just between me and the female. Owen was talking about this there the other day on the stream, where he's talking about like relationship advice and stuff like that. It's like, think about how difficult it is to communicate to your spouse sometimes, right? The person you have been with the longest, the person you love the most, and the person you know inside out. And then you speak to them and they have like an emotional response, and you're like, what the fuck? Like, yeah. Because the words you're using, even though we've all agreed that this is a brush and this is a fan, and when I say I'm going to the toilet, it means I'm going into the room to like sit on the porcelain shit collector, you know, like, even though we're all speaking the same language, communicating an idea in a language is still like a skill, a craft that you can learn, you know. And I think that's why like uneducated people are so easily manipulated, because you can say stuff like it's safe and effective, you know, and they take it to mean what it means to them. They don't see the nuance. They don't think outside the, you know, whatever. Like, and like, I'm not highly educated, you know. I went to primary school and secondary school, and I did a shit leaving cert, you know. Like absolutely shit leaving cert, like, because I didn't even bother. I literally, like, I just like wrote my name and left, you know, like. It's like, so the fact that like it's hilarious to me, like that's what makes me think that I'm not special, like I'm not like really intelligent, like I'm blessed, I'm lucky. The path I took and the decisions I made has led me here, and I'm very grateful for that. But like, I'm not different from other people, really. Like, do you know what I mean? It's like in a sense we are all the same. Like, I know you could argue that like if other people had my experience, they'd be different, you know. And it's like that's a very paradoxical thing. Like, well, everybody's unique, like a snowflake. Well, yeah and no. Do you know what I mean? It's weird. Like, that's such a paradoxical thing. It's like we are all unique, but there's billions of us, and there's so many like similarities. It's like, yes, but like, it's like it's really hard to pin that down. Where like I obviously I am unique and special, but so are you guys. You know? So what's the difference between like me or, you know, average people, and then like, you know, like stupid people or something? Like, you know, like what's the variable? I don't think it's intelligence. Like, what's awareness? Is that intelligence? Is it just will? Is it just your willingness to like be honest and learn and shit? Like, I don't know, like, you know, because like it's a fascinating one, that one. Like why can't people hear something and be like, oh yeah? Because like I've done that. Like the amount of times I'm listening to Owen's stream and I'm doing something, or I'm like, you know, meditating, or I'm just lying in bed relaxing, like, and he says something and I'm like, fuck me, that's a good point. You know, like, whereas like other people are like, I hate him, you know, and it's like, what the fuck? Like, it's like me doing the planters, you know, like, or us, like, you know, it's not just me, like, it's like me and the creative places thing doing the planters. Most, like, the vast majority of the response of the reaction from the local community is like really positive. People are like bringing us drinks, and like, you know, the garden center was like, like, if you need to use the toilet, you can come in and use the toilet here or whatever. Like, you know, like, people were bringing us water and like chocolate bars and shit. Like, people are driving past and like beeping the horn and being like, they look great and all, like, you know. But there are like a small minority that are just like, nyeh! And like, before, like only like a year or two ago, like, never mind like a long time, like up until in the past year, I would react with like, fuck you, you fucking, like, you know, people like you suck, like the world would be such a better place if people like you just didn't exist. Not true at all. It's like, you know, good wouldn't exist without evil. Without haters, without ugly, fucked up, hate-filled cunts, we wouldn't know how not to be. You need examples of the low to be like, ah, yeah, because you can get complacent and you can like lose focus and time goes on and all. Every so often you need to be reminded how lucky you are and how blessed you are and how like it's good to be good and like things can be beautiful and like have hope and have faith and all these things, like, you know, because like, and that it makes perfect sense, because like if you're in an environment that has fuck all of that and you're just surrounded by a bunch of people who spend most of their time angry, depressed, sad, you know, filled with like anger and sadness and frustration for like various things. Like, do you know what I mean? Like if somebody is greedy but they're not getting the opportunity to be greedy, they'll like get frustrated because they're like, oh yeah, I want it, you know. And then like lust, like, you know, if you're very lustful but you don't get the opportunity, or you try and create the opportunity that doesn't go the way you want, you know, you're frustrated because you're like, oh, like I'm lustful and I can't like indulge in my lust. Like, do you know what I mean? It's the same for anger. It's the same for sadness. Like, you know, if you don't feel like you can express yourself genuinely, that creates frustration. Like, do you know what I mean? And if you're like that for a long enough period of time, it like fucks you up and like it makes you want to die. Like, you know. So that's why you have all these like self-help guru talk of like, you know, and a lot of it is true, but a lot of it's bullshit. A lot of it's a grift. But it's like, get those people out of your life as much as you can. You know, like the people that like you choose to like love, and the people that you choose to want, like that you want in your life. You know, put the effort in with them and like do everything you can to be like better with them and for them and shit. But the people who like you can't work with at all, you know, or if they're so hard to work with, it's like getting in your way, just stop trying to work with them, just stop interacting with them, like, you know. And like there's like, because people would be like, yeah, but like, what, you're supposed to just be alone? Or it's like, no, it's like frequency is location, like Christopher Gardner says. It's like when you change your attitude and you change your behavior, quite often like your literal physical position in life will change. Like, I never thought I'd be living in fucking Tipperary, you know. I spent the first 25 odd years of my life in Dublin, you know. And it's like, it's just a different county. Like, it's weird. It's weird how stuff like that works, where like, and it's funny because like I'm a Scorpio, and apparently Scorpios are like they represent transformation, and like their number is like 8, which is like the infinity symbol and stuff like that and all. Like, but it's like I am quite good at that. I'm quite good at being like, this is where I am, this is what's going on, what can I do to change? Alright, change. I'm really good at transforming. I'm really good at like adapting. So am I just blessed like that? Am I just like, because I'm a Scorpio, it's like ordained that like I'm really good at this shit? Fine, that's awesome. Thank you, God. But other people are like going to be the polar opposite of me. That doesn't make them a bad person though. It just means they're really bad at change. And like, that would be, I can imagine that being really difficult. Like, do you know what I mean? If you're like really, like, not even that you're adverse to change, but that you're bad at it, you know? You're so ingrained in your ways, and you're so like ingrained in your habits and your rituals, that change causes you pain and like fear and all these things, like, and it gets in your way. And that's probably another reason that I have a great capacity to change, is because I have fuck all fear. You know, like real, like obviously I have apprehensions and worries and like fears, but I do not allow fear to like influence my decisions. If anything, I'm the type of person to do something in spite or despite of fear, which is like, what's that? That's like the definition of courage, isn't it? It's like, so I'm courageous, like, do you know what I mean? It's like, somebody would probably hear the way I'm speaking right now and be like, oh, listen to him, he's so full of himself. It's like, no, I'm just defining what I am through experience. What are you? Can you define yourself? Are you aware enough of yourself to define yourself? You know? And like, people see other people as a threat, but that means you're insecure, you know? It's like, oh, look at him, he's comfortable, he's happy, he's like Jimmy. It's like they see you and they're like envious of your peace. I think that's like something that I'll probably have to face a lot of in the coming years, is like, because as I become more and more zen, like God will like challenge me with people who are like fucking wild, you know. That's how it kind of works. It's like the better you get at life, the harder life gets. in a sense. It doesn't necessarily get more difficult. If anything, like in a lot of ways, it gets easier. Like both happen at the same time. It's like you will be granted blessings as you get better at life. So it's like as you level up, you get buffs and you get like, you know, upgrade points and attributes that you can allocate as you get better at the game. But the game also gets more sophisticated and more difficult. Like that makes sense. Like if you've ever played a fucking video game, it's like level 1, you've only got 4 attacks and like, you know, you could throw a fireball. But you're fighting like, you know, the goblins. Do you know what I mean? Like that can be killed in like a swing or 2 swings, or 1 fireball can kill like 3 of them, you know? By the end of the game, you're like a fucking omnipotent god with like golden armor and 6 backup weapons and all this fucking shit. But you're not fighting goblins anymore. Now you're fighting like a 10-story demon that can like transform into multiple different things and like get inside your head and like fucking convince you that there's a wall in front of you that even though there isn't. Do you know what I mean? It's like these are all things that we've like seen and experienced in like video games and books and TV shows and movies and songs and all this shit, where it's like life is an ever-changing, flowing, expansive like river that like it you know, it is like water, like, you know, like be like water, my friend. Like to me, it's like once you're in the flow and you're flowing with life and you accept what comes. Now it's rapids. Now it's a pond. Now it's a stream. Now it's a raging river. Now it's a storm in an ocean. Now it's a pond again. You know, like, and it's like being okay with wherever you are is the key to maintaining inner peace. You know, like if you can be on a ship rolling over 200-foot waves in a storm that looks, sounds and feels like you're going to die tonight, but you're like, well, if I die, then I die, you know? That is what allows you to actually be aware and calm and like deal with things in the situation, and that usually leads to you living through the situation. It's the ones who panic and like lose their shit and like, you know, like the guy huddled up in the corner rocking back and forth being like, I want to go home, that fucker's dead, you know, and he deserves it because he's also endangering the people around him. And we've all seen those stories where like if you try to save that guy, it gets you killed too, you know. It's like the gods are always telling you like, it's like I was talking about communication, like, do you know what I mean? It's like the same way that you could talk to your spouse and then one of you gets like really fucking angry even though words were just spoken, right? Is the same way that the gods or God communicates to you in your life. Just because you didn't pick up the signal doesn't mean that like the universe, God is like telling you every day, every waking moment of every day. It's like, look at this, listen to this, pay attention to this. What about these? You can do that. You could do this. Don't go near this. This hurts. This will kill you. This will make you stronger. You know, trust this person. Don't trust this person. Like if you learn how to just like read life, like you're discerning, you know, fucking, like I'm like, what color is this? What color is this? What color is this? And you're like, yellow, red, black. It's like, yes, good boy. Now keep going, you know? Good rant, bad rant. A place for everyone is a place for nobody. That's a brilliant one. That's a really good one. Desmondu Sama laying down the fucking lions. A place for everyone is a place for nobody. It's like that thing from The Incredibles. When everybody is super, nobody will be. You know? Because that's what he wants. Because he's not super. So he doesn't want anybody to be super. So he's going to be the communist little shit and level the playing field, like, you know? No matter the cost. Like, that's evil. You know, that was Al Gore. The only sin is competition. That's evil. Good is... competition is good. Because iron sharpens iron, you know? Oh, but I got my ass handed to me. So, you're still alive. You know? Death of the ego is not death of the self. You know? Death of the ego can happen again and again and again and again, and every time your ego dies and you rebuild it, ooh, it's so good, like. Hello again, done for the day now. You're done for the day? Nice. I should probably pack it in now. I need to get ready for dinner and shit, like. The less communication with the females, the better. That's it. I know you're kind of taking the piss, but I can tell that part of you is not taking the piss. I see one of the reasons that I relate to you so much, John, is because I see the same burning anger, like wrath in you that like is in me, you know. I'll never forget when we were drinking that time in Frank's, or like what's his name, Anton or whatever, and we were all drinking and it was like really late at night, like we were talking about all the politicians and stuff, like, and like something was said and like John got to the point where he was like, it's not right. Like you were like so pissed off. And I felt like I related to you like so much in that moment where like, you know, like it's related to your posture, you know, your poor posture and your like the tension in your body. Like there's so much tension in your body because there's tension in your mind and there's tension in your heart, so there's tension in your being, so there's tension in your body, you know. And it's like that tension comes from the conflict of you being like, I know this is wrong, but I can't do anything about it, and that's fucked up because like I'm a man and I'm supposed to defend the weak and the vulnerable and the women and the children, and but I it's like I can't, like I look around and I see all this shit and there's nothing I can do about it, but there is something you can do about it. You do it in here and you do it in here, you do it in your heart and your head, and you do it with your body and you do it with your family and your land, you know, and then it expands outward, like, you know what I mean? And I know it's incredibly frustrating, trust me, like I fucking know, like, you know, this is coming from the guy who like has cried multiple times on stream from all sorts of frustration and anger, but like I'm learning, I'm getting, like, my power is growing. like I'm getting it, like, you know, because like I used, like, up until very recently I was like that. I would justify my anger. I'd be like, no, my anger is okay because there's a reason for it. And it's like, you're justifying your anger. It's not that you can't have anger. That's not what it is. It's because I've had that argument with the female as well. It's like, oh, so I'm supposed to just be emotionless? I'm not allowed to feel anything? It's like, no. It's like, you feel it, and then pause, and then think about the feeling. Why am I angry? Why am I sad? And like go through the whole thing, you know. Why am I angry? Because I stubbed my toe. Why did you stub your toe? Because I wasn't paying attention. There you go. It's your responsibility. Like it is like Owen's right. It's always your fault. And I know that's a mad thing to say because it's like, I'm not responsible for the demonic shit going on. Yes, you are. In a sense, like that it is. It's like the most. It's the wisest place to put your mind, to put your mindset where you're like, I am responsible for everything, you know. And like, if anything, that like emboldens you, where you're like, okay, so how do I and you start from the ground up, you know. And like that's what's so beautiful about like Bertaria and like this community and all this shit is like, I get it, I fucking get that, like, you know. And it's like incredibly like philosophically very sound, you know, which is like in times like this, that's all people want is some clarity. That's all people really want these days, is some clarity, because there's so much confusion, there's so much deception, there's so much this, there's so much bullshit. What people really want is to just look at something and for it to be what it looks like, you know. It's like what is this? It's yellow. It's actually yellow. I'm not lying to you. It's fucking yellow. Like there's so much of a lack of that in our world today, that's all people want is some clarity. And that's what like Owen has provided through comedy, is clarity. because the truth of comedy and tragedy, like, you know, provides clarity. Once you have clarity, you like, it's easier to discern. Once you can discern, like, you know, it's all about like orientating your compass. You know, you're lost in the desert or you're out in the open sea. Like, it's like, how do you find land? Like, it's all just like metaphorical and philosophical. Like, I really do need to start reading the Bible, because I'd probably be like, oh no way, that makes a lot of sense. Like, but it's like I get it. It's like externalizing it all only destroys you, because you need to be responsible for it. You're giving your power away, like, you know. And like when you're like, the less communication with the females, the better. It's like, yeah, I get it, because like as men we're like, oh, women, you know, because they get very frustrating because they're like children. But then like you say that to like, well, this is actually one of the things that's like a test of like how aware and in control a woman is like, if you turn around to a woman and you're like, women can be very childish and they can throw tantrums, you know, and they get emotional and they get defensive, and it's like, see, you know, the thing that's so great about the environment that men used to grow up in is like, they get rid of that at like 8 years old. Like, that's you shit all over each other, you like constantly degrade each other, you constantly insult each other, you constantly like you make each other bulletproof mentally and spiritually and emotionally. And that's why you get these guys who, like, you know, have been to like war and have seen dead kids and all this fucking shit, like, and then like somebody, like, you know, somebody handing them, like, you know, a watch from their grandfather or something like that, like, do you know what I mean? Like, that actually brings them to tears, because it was like what Owen was saying on the stream there the other day. It's like, the real warrior who has the capacity to like kill loads of demons and then come home to his wife and children weeps when he sees a flower bloom, you know, because he's like, that's why I'm doing this, you know. Like, you look at the growth and the beauty, and like, you know, you hear a child laugh and giggle and like run to its mother, and you witness these things and you're like, that is why I'm doing this, you know. That's why I'm like killing myself constantly in an egotistical way, and in a sense like in a physical way, where I'm like hurting myself, I'm traumatizing myself again and again and again. I'm like suffering because I know it's the right thing to do, you know, because like that's what discipline is. That's what like getting away from the 7 deadly sins is because like when you're indulging in the 7 deadly sins, you're like, oh, this feels so good. Oh yeah, like gummy bears, fucking sex, like fucking rock and roll, alcohol, weed, like it's just a good, and then you burn yourself out and you get to the point where you're like, I need more good, and where's all the good gone? I need more good. Now you're addicted. Now you're addicted to false good. Now you're addicted to faux good, right? And like you start chasing the faux good. You're like, I need more drugs, I need more alcohol, I need more sex, I need more and like I have been there. I need more sugar, I need more video games, like, do you know what I mean? I need more. Give me an escape. Give me a injection of dopamine. Give me anything, like. But when you actually start like brutalizing your body with exercise and like training, when you start disciplining your mind and your soul, and like investigating your own mind and investigating your own heart, and being brutally honest with yourself, and allowing yourself to be brutally honest with yourself, and you start like snipping bits off the fucking bonsai tree that is you know, and then it keeps like growing in different directions and shit, like, and you stand back and you look at yourself, and then you begin to have pride in the new you of like, yeah, like I was there and now I'm here, you know. And like knowing all this is now how, like, being through it, that's how I have the peace and the calm and the zen to look at other people who, like, you know, say something in like right in my presence, like it's not online, I'm not reading it, they're like in my physical presence, and they say something or they behave in a way, and I'm just like I'm at, I think, where Owen was in a sense, or maybe is now, where I go like, because I'm really it's exhausting, it's frustrating. But what I'm not doing is like getting angry and getting intense and like, you know, my eyes and my brow and I'm like, I'm gonna fucking you know, like now I'm like a pond where I'm just like still and I'm accepting things and stuff. And like, dude, it's like, it's I'm like, part of me is like, I like this new power, yes. like one of the things I've realized about myself is that like I'm funny in like a very childish way. like because I'll realize shit like that about myself where I'm like, oh, overcoming your anger in a utilitarian way is very useful because it's very powerful. There's like a different, more stable, this is like a more stable source of power. This is very interesting. And then part of me is like, yeah, more power, good. and there's another part of me that hears that part of me and looks at that part of me and is like, dude, relax, like chill. like you need to start, you know, you need to start looking at the different versions of you. There's like probably at least 7, you know. There's sad you, there's the you that despairs, the you that lusts, the you that is a glutton, the you that has wrath, the you that has envy, and the you that is slothful, right? They're all aspects of you, but they are not you. You are the thing that ties them all together, you know. I remember saying this before, like a while ago, where I was like, I came to the conclusion that I am not one thing. I am the result of lots of things happening at the same time. You know, like your heart is beating, your brain is thinking, your skin is growing, your nails are growing, like your hair is growing, like there's loads of shit happening, like the wind is blowing, I'm breathing in air, like the simultaneous manifestations and like behaviors and actions of everything all at the same time produces you, and you're in it and you're witnessing it. So you are not like just you. It's like, oh, I'm just me. You know, I'm just a guy. It's like, no, it's like way more sophisticated and complicated than that. And that's why it's so beautiful, because in any given moment, like life in every breath, like, do you know what I mean? Like literally every time your heart beats, literally every time you take a breath, like there is an affirmation, like an acknowledgement, a reload of everything every time it happens. Which, when you think about it, is like the most sophisticated, most beautiful, most transcendental, metaphysical clock. You've like, clocks are fascinating in that sense, where it's like all these gears moving in sequence creates a clock. Well, all the stuff happening in your body and in the environment and in the you know, in the spiritual realm, the physical, all of it happening at the same time makes you. You know, you are the clock. You know, but the clock is made of many parts, and like that's something that like allows you. It's like, delve into that. You know, what is angry me like? What is sad me like? What is gluttonous me like? You know, because like all of us are different in the, like, it's like stats in a RPG. It's like, how gluttonous are you? How full of despair are you? And I've said this before, that like I pretty much boiled it down to like, my worst ones, my major sins are wrath and lust. And I'm pretty sure I'm right. I do, like, I have a little bit of a glutton in me, but not much, you know. Loud cunt. I have a little bit of a glutton in me, but not much. I don't really get envious. So like sometimes a little bit, where I'm kind of like, oh, like it's like Owen nails it on the head with so many things. It is that like, oh, that must be nice. Do you know, like I look at like John, like, you know, like fucking Prune or Sammer, like, do you know, when I'm with John in his house on his property, I'm like, wow, this is beautiful. It must be like incredible to live here. And like John is like, yeah, it's like you never get used to it. Like, but because you live there, it's not the same for you. There'll be days where you wake up and get out of bed and like you couldn't give a fuck how beautiful your scenery is. Do you know what I mean? Because like that's how life works. Like people could come to my house and then go out my back garden and be like, oh wow, what a beautiful back garden. Like, you know, and in my mind I'm like, yeah, it's a lot of work though, and like fuck, it's like, you know, this house is shit, and like, you know, like the last thing you want is your fucking back garden being the best part of your house. Like, do you know what I mean? It's sort of like that's perspective. Like, do you know what I mean? It's like it's hilarious. Like, it's hilariously complicated. It's hilariously sophisticated, but it's also beautifully simple to understand and comprehend and work within once you understand it. And like, it's like learning a language, you know? Like, you'll start off with like, you know, like just real simple shit. Like, you know, I went to the shop and bought an apple, you know? And like, you sound like a fucking retard. Like, you know, you gotta crawl before you can walk, before you can run. Like, you know, so it's like anybody trying to like if you're trying to figure out, like, you know, why am I sad? Why am I angry? Why am I like this? Like, why am I fat? Why am I fucking, like, it's like, it's because of you. You're the problem. You are your problem. And it's like, oh, so it's all my fault? Yes. You know, but that means that all the power is like there. All you have to do is consciously make the decision. Okay, so I have to change my behavior to get a different result. And I know it's hard. It's not easy. It's not one of those things where you just go press X to jump over the box. It's like, no, it doesn't work like that. You need to get up every day for lots of days, weeks, months, and actively, repeatedly, like every day you need to remake the decision to be like, no, I'm going to do better this time. I'm going to do better this time. And this time. And it's like building a wall where it's like every day is a brick. You now have another brick there. Like every day that you make a better, every day that you are a better you than you were the day before is a brick in the wall that is building the defenses against the demons. So like, even if you get a day where you're like, oh shit, and like one of the bricks is off, it's like, start again. Even like until you have a solid foundation to build the wall upon. Start again and again and again, and it kill the ego again and again and again. Like, kill parts of you as many times as you have to in order to grow into the you that you want to be, you know? And like, get like brutal and relentless about it. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, especially if as a man, like, I don't know, with women, like, it's probably not as necessary, but it's very fucking necessary as a man to be like, you know, like, for me, like, an example from my perspective is like something frustrates me or pisses me off, and I'll be like, oh, you know, like, and I catch myself now. It's like I have a leash on a dog now, like, you know, where I'm just like, no, down, you know, like, and it's like, before I would have been like, he's just a dog, you know, they bark, you know, but now I'm like, no, I'm not a fucking dog, I'm a man, like, I'm in charge of me, you know. Every facet of me, where my hand moves and why my thoughts think the things that they do and why, where my feelings go, where they lead, what I do with them, and so I'm in charge, you know. And like, you don't just claim that and then it happens. You have to reclaim it, like, all the time. I'm in charge. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, it'd be like, it could be anything. You'd be watching a YouTube video and then you suddenly get like really sad or incensed, like, because you're like, what the fuck is going on? Especially these days with all the nonsense, like, you know. The major ones are wrath and despair, in my opinion. You know, like, I'm not claiming that they, like, that is the whole truth and nothing but the truth, so help me God, and so on and so forth. But from my experience, the ones that cause the most like societal damage, because they're the ones that cause the most damage, like, in your immediate life and with your friends and like your loved ones and shit. Wrath, get rid of wrath. It's like, you know, control your wrath. And then probably envy is one that you don't you know, want to have with people in your life. And then despair, but that, like, and then for men, probably, like, well, men and women, lust, you know, so you don't fuck other people and then make people really angry and upset, like, you know. But it's like, You want people to be, you don't want people to be happy. You want people to be stable. And the things that are like most, the things that negatively affect your stability the quickest and the worst are anger and sadness and like jealousy or something, because it's like a weird combination of the two. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, I'm annoyed and sad that like you're talking to him in that way or something, like, it's some shite, like, or like, oh, why is he so good at driving cars? I don't even drive cars. It's like, so I'm just pulling these out my ass. Like, I don't even have a driver's license. Like, I've never thought that. I've never looked at someone and been like, oh, he's really good at driving cars. Oh, like, I don't give a fuck. But like, it's different for everybody. Like, but that's why I'm saying that from my experience, it's like those are the ones. Like, wrath is probably like ridiculously common one now. Especially for men. I see it a lot in women. Women are very wrathful these days. But like, it's destructive. It breaks down communication. It communicates the wrong thing most of the time. So like, if it was me, like, if I was like give a list of them, it's like, work on those. Anger, sadness, envy. Those are the big ones, like, because like nobody really gets like horribly affected if you put on a few pounds and eat too many cookies. Do you know what I mean? It's like, I suppose you can make the argument that you could be gluttonous with your lust, like, do you know what I mean? But then you're combining sins, and it's like, fucking, that's level 2. Like, calm the fuck down, like, kind of thing, like. But anyway, I'm gonna stop ranting, and I'm gonna leave there, because I'm like 23 minutes over, and I have shit to do. But I hope you enjoyed today's PEINTEINGU, my beloved Japonator. I am afraid that is all I have time for today. This concludes today's episode of PEINTEINGU. Look at it. Look at how beautiful those mountains are. I brought you to the mountain regions of Georgia in less than 2.5 hours. Which is why you should pay for PEINTEINGU. You filthy mortar scum. Filthy mortar scum. You are very better than that monkey that praised the piano for me. Gyros has kind of been forgotten of late. He's just cheering in his bucket and sunglasses in the corner. Gyros' arms must be fucking killing him, holding up that sign for the past 3 years. Right. My beloved Japonator, I bid you farewell. Sayonara. Be good, be true, be beautiful. Be beautiful. Oh, sumimasen. And I will more than likely see you Monday. I will let you know in the Telegram. Happy 7-Eleven, everyone. Many thanks to Fenderu. Happy 7-Eleven. Hilarious. Hilarious. Right, much love. Bye-bye. May the gods bless you and all that jazz. Enjoy your weekend. Be good, be true, be beautiful. Enjoy your weekend. And pay for PEINTEINGU.